Hey guys, what's going on? It's Lucas or Krypto here, and lately I've been noticing that Siege has been going on sale more and more recently, which means there's going to be more players and older players coming back. So I decided as a Plat 3 level 130-ish, I could give you the best tip ideas and just give you the best tips in general for when you're trying to get back into Siege and learn the ropes. Alright, so tip number 1. When you're getting into playing Siege again, you're gonna want to know what you want to achieve every round, and by that I mean like what style you want to play. There's many styles on attack and defense that you could play. Some examples of attack styles are hard breach, soft breach, fragger, and support. Some defense styles, sight holder, roamer, and anchor. When you start playing with the thought that you're gonna try to achieve something and you're gonna play towards achieving something, it's gonna make you play a lot better because you won't be as confused during the round and as questioning what you're supposed to be doing. Stop questioning what you're supposed to be doing. It's gonna give you the sense that you know what you're supposed to be doing, and if you know that you're playing as an anchor, so you're holding down a sight off sight and you're supposed to just stop everybody from coming, and if you could successfully do that without having to think about if you're playing in the right spot, it's going to help you perform 100% better. Let's get into the next one. Also, let me know if you guys want a more in-depth video on what styles you could play and how you could play them properly, I guess you could say. Just let me know in the comments. Alright, tip number 2. Learn your settings. Another really good thing you could do when you're just gaming in general is stick with the same sensitivity or as close as you can in all your games. For example, you're not only going to play Siege, right? You're going to be playing Overwatch maybe. Like, I don't know what game you're going to play, but you're not going to just play Siege. So try to keep your sensitivities in the same area. Example, Overwatch, if you play 30-30 and Siege 12-12, try to crank Overwatch to maybe 20 and Siege to 15. Try to even it out, so once you're all warmed up on one game, it's not going to be harder to get used to it when you switch to a different game. It's always going to be in the same area, and it won't be harder and it won't be easier. Alright, now into the next part. We're going to be talking about movement now. So in Siege, it's a really good idea to try to keep all your movement on your keyboard and less on your mouse. Like, if you have crouch on your mouse and it gets to like a tight 1v1 situation or a 1v2 situation and you're tensed up, you may get fat finger and you may just accidentally hit crouch or prone, so it messes up your shot completely. So it's all better to know your keyboard. Try to know your keyboard as well as you can, and try to know and have all your buttons for movement on your keyboard. That will help tremendously, and I really do suggest you give that one a try. Stop letting other people in other videos control your settings. Yes, I understand it's kind of hypocritical for me to say, but hear me out. I'm not trying to tell people to change their settings. I'm just giving ideas of how to change your settings, of the way that you're able to change it towards the way that you like. And I'm just trying to help you guys improve. I'm not trying to shove in your face what the best quote-unquote settings are. I've seen more people copy YouTuber settings and Pro League settings before even trying out their own settings. And trust me, following a guide of settings and just setting it the exact way will not always help you. I'm not saying it won't. You know, some could really play on other people's settings, but I'm saying for the most of you that can't adapt like that, I'm going to tell you right now, try to make your own settings. Example, movement on keyboard. I'm not telling you what buttons, I'm just telling you to try to keep the movement on your keyboard. It's a tip, it's not a must. And just remember, when you're trying to set your own settings, you don't want to rush it. You want to take your time, play as many T-hunts as you need, practice your settings. Just the most important is to take your time. Alright, so this is tip 4A. There's 2 parts to this one because it's a big one. Alright, so this one is headphones and microphones. I cannot stress this one to be one of the most important. Rainbow Six Siege is a team-based game. Everything you do in this game will affect your team in either a negative or a positive way. In this game, sound and communication is the most important way to win the round. Yes, I understand you're not always going to be doing good or playing with the nicest people, but there's ways to improve. The one way you can improve when you're playing is to play with a friend. Not only is it fun playing with friends, but it kind of helps deal with the toxicity in some games you may get in, because you will always have somebody there to back you up and always help you if you're gonna get like team killed or something. So it's always good to play with somebody. And another tip, this one's for more microphones. Don't leave your mic on 24/7 in game chat. I recommend using push to talk and in maybe Discord if you have noisy background, because it's better for your teammates to only hear the callouts and not like your dad or your family in the background being loud. And it just helps a lot, because then people can't rage and get mad because they couldn't hear, and it just helps solve a lot of things. And now let's talk about callouts. The best form of a callout you could give is the most descriptive callout in the least amount of words. In order to do this properly, you're gonna always need to know what room you're in and at least the rough area of what way you're facing. And that way you could do that is the compass at the bottom of your screen. The arrow shows the way you're facing and what room you're in. And now, here's the callout layout that you should use. Operator name is whatever HP, direction and room, using in a sentence, like using it in a sentence. Ella is 25 HP south of printer. Also, in the kill cam, you might be able to spot if there's another player in there or if they're going to run out of the room and go somewhere else after. So make sure when you're playing, you're always focusing to sounds into kill cams. Tip number 5, what to do when you die. Let's run some examples here. For the first one, let's imagine we are on defense and you die early in the round. The best thing you could do is use your team's gadgets to your advantage. Examples: the default cams, Valkyrie's Black Eyes, Maestro's Evil Eye, Mozzie Drones, Echo's Yoke Eyes, and Dog's Bulletproof Camera. Using the compass, you're able to relay really good information to the team about where the enemies are in that room and what way they are facing, and you could also use sound for cues for what they're doing, if they're placing a thermite charge or on their drone. Now, also, imagine you're attacking. The best thing you can do is sit back and let your team play. Nobody likes when somebody's in their ear telling them what to do and how to play. The best thing you can do is A, ask for them to leave a drone for you to watch their flank, or B, remind them every 30 to maybe 45 seconds about the time and 30, 15, and 10 seconds left of each round, because after 10 it does the countdown for you. Tip number 6. Remember, if you're trying to get better at the game, you always have to learn from your deaths and learn from your mistakes. You can't blame anybody but yourself, and it's rarely ever someone else's fault if you die. You know what they say, a death is always a lesson learned. Also, never peek the same angle twice if you've peeked it and there was an enemy there. That's just crying for death. Tip number 7, never be scared of trying a new operator or switching up your style of playing. It never hurts to try a new operator or try a new style. If you're used to hard breaching, try soft breaching, try fragging. Or if you're used to sight holding, try roaming, try being an anchor for once. It's always good to try something new and you'll feel more relaxed and it's a fun change. Also, you may find it and want to be like, wow, I want to start playing this more than sight holding. Boom, you found a new thing. It's very harmless. Tip number 8. This is Siege, so there's always room for freedom and cool things to do. Example, this line of sight I got on this enemy without him realizing because I didn't peek the same angle twice. And another important thing you have to figure out is if you're going to be playing Siege with Hollow or ACOG. It's good to mix sometimes, but it's better to find out what you like more so you could set your settings around that. I can make a more in-depth video for settings on Hollow and ACOG if you guys would like. But here's a short example is Hollow is better for holding as close as you can to the angle, but ACOG is better for holding farther and longer, harder angles. Tip number 9, using drones to attack. A very important thing in this game is droning. Not too many people use drones to their full advantage and to the drone's full potential. It's very helpful. The fact that you could see the room you're going to enter without actually entering it and wasting your life, it's amazing. Use your drones to clear rooms before you push. Try to dedicate somebody on your team, if you're playing with the whole stack, maybe 2 people to send in their drones to look for sight, and the rest just save drones and stick in groups of 2, and one person drones out, the other one goes up, and then you guys meet up, and then you keep droning. You got to play off of each other. This game is a team-based game, and if you save your drones to clear rooms, drone off each other, and progress to sight where you guys are going to make your final push into sight, is very crucial, and it will help you a lot. Even if you don't have friends to play with, try to queue in some games and see if people have mics, and if they have mics, you guys could try to play with each other like that. Tip number 10, make sure you use your operator and the map to the full potential. Make sure if you're anchoring, if you're sight holding, you have sound cues set up, you have cameras directed to the room you're sitting in, and you're able to hold the angle. Make sure you're just prepared and you're using every little thing on the map to the full advantage. And same for attacking. Make sure you're using the right operator and make sure you use it to its full potential. If you're going sledge on a map that has more like steel beams and like wooden floors and like wooden walls that you could actually open, then he wouldn't be using it to the full potential. If it's more of a steel map with reinforcements in the small room it is, Thermite, Habana, Ace, Maverick, all that. So just make sure you're using, if you know how to use the op and you know what to perform with the op and how. Tip number 11. The last tip that I want to give is one of the most important ones for your own sake. It's when you're playing, you must have fun. Even if you try to play and you're stressed, like every death makes you mad, everything, it's okay to take breaks. And it's hard, you get addicted, I know, but it's always okay to take breaks, to eat food, just watch YouTube, or you don't want to let the sweats ruin your experience. So just make sure you take a break when it's appropriate, and it'll honestly help you perform. Just little breaks. Don't take like week breaks and months breaks because you're frustrated. That's not going to help you get better. You're just going to want to take short breaks, maybe a day or maybe just 2 hours. But you always want to make sure that you come back strong and you're happy when you're playing. Alrighty guys, that is all the tips and information I have to give out today. So if you made it this far in the video and watched the whole thing, thank you so much. It means a lot. Make sure you leave your feedback in the comments and hit that like button if you really enjoyed. Thank you so much. Have a great, awesome rest of your day.